So today I want to go over text, and if you go to the text tool, which is about a little more than halfway down on your toolbar, and there's one thing that's really important with your text, and that is when you're setting up a text box, you need to make sure that you aren't just clicking once and then typing. So if I just click once and then I start typing, now if I want to go back and change whatever I typed, I can't because I just clicked once and then I started typing. So instead, what you want to do, I'm going to delete that layer and create a new layer. Okay, instead I want you to click and hold and then drag a text box. So you're just making a text box with your text tool and then let go. And now you've got a box. And this will allow you to go back after whatever you type and you can change stuff because inevitably you always have to change something. So you can type in whatever you want. Okay, I'm just going to type that. And in order to change the size of your font, right here it only gets you up to 72. And if that's big enough, then that's fine. It really depends on how big your picture is. So if it's a really large image, then you're probably going to have to go in here and manually change this. So I just type it in 100. And that'll, oops, I need to highlight it first. That might help. So you highlight your text. So if you want to change it, then you can do it that way. But I want this to be about 150. So I just type it in. And then if I want to change the color of it, you go right here. And you can just click on this little color box. And then you can just change the color to whatever you want. So I'll make this one green. So that's how you change the color of the text. And then if you want to change the style of the text, the font, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can either just the regular way where you click here and you look through them and you pick them like that. There's a way that is really nice that Photoshop allows you to scroll through these. So while it's highlighted, if you go up to your fonts and you just click in the box, and then you can hit your down arrow. And I can just hit my up or down arrow, and it just flips through all the different fonts. And that way you can see what they all look like on your page. And it just makes it a whole lot easier and faster. So let's see, I'll just pick one here. Okay, so this I think was the one that I had it on before. All right, so now I've got this with a new font style. I've got a new color, and if you want to, you can just anytime if you go to your select tool over here, which is the arrow at the top, if you just go over there and click on it, it'll get out of the whatever other tool you're in, and I can move this around, move it wherever I want. All right, so the next, I'm going to go back to my text tool. I'm going to click in here, and right here next to your font color is the little T with a little line underneath it. If you click on that, and then you can just select one of these, you can warp your text, and there's a bunch of different settings for here. You can make an arc lower, arc upper, an arch. There's just a bunch of stuff you can mess with here. We'll just keep it on this one. And then you can change the settings of each one of these after the fact. There's a bunch of different, like there's horizontal and vertical distortion you can mess with. But I'll just leave it at that. And maybe afterwards you're like, it's a little big. The text is a little big. I can bump that down to 140. And okay, we're good. So that's a few things with text. Just make sure you don't forget to make a text box with your text. All right, so that's text. You can mess around with that afterwards, but I'd like you to go to either your background layer or your animal layer, whatever animal it is. I don't care which. So the next thing that I want to show you is the filter gallery. So if you go up to the top here and go to filter and then filter gallery, just click on that. And if it's really large on your screen here, you can just go down to the bottom left. It says 100%. On mine, you can just bump it down to like 50%. That way you can actually see what you're doing. And I'd like you to spend some time going through all of these different filters. So there's just a ton of different filters. And within each filter on the right hand side here, you can change the levels of these different ones. So I can change the detail of this one, the smoothness, and they all have different things here you can mess with. So just spend some time going through all these. You will probably recognize a lot of them in other people's work. Like if you're on the internet looking through stuff and you see pictures, it's just mostly people putting pictures through these filters. And you know, this, let's see, like this one right here I recognize a lot. And you can change the brush size of it, the brush detail, the texture. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with these. So you can go through, figure out, you know, okay, this is the way I want it, and you hit OK. If for some reason afterwards you're like, you know what, I don't really like that, I'm going to get out of that. Remember, you can always do Command, Option, and then Z, and that will take you back to your whatever you did before that. So if you want to go backwards at any time, just Option, Command, and just keep hitting the letter Z, and that'll go back. So for today, that's it. Just mess with both of those with your text and with the filter galleries.